This looks like a menu overhaul for the game, which sets it apart from the other Brick Bronze copies. And honestly, while I can understand some people, if some people have an issue with it, I can see it because it's Gen 7, but they're using a Gen 8 menu. Honestly, I like the Gen 8 menu, funny enough. And it'd be actually very nice if they were to add Wonder Trading to it as like an option in the menu that you can do. Because I think Wonder Trading is an underutilized feature in Brick Bronze copies. I'm not sure how it'd be implemented, but it'd just be nice to see overall. The leaks I just showed were for one of the cities meant for the game. And honestly, I think the city models look great. Whoever's the builder, good job on that if you watch these videos. But I am curious on if these maps are going to have like any new features or any new stuff for you to do. I know they've been putting a lot of thought into this project, so I wouldn't put it past them. But if they were to add some new features, that would actually be really cool, and I would love to see it in the future. I'd love to see like if they plan to add different mechanics or just overall stuff you can do for these cities. It'd just be very nice. This is Route 4 for the Alola region. I don't know if it's dropping when the game drops, since they are only dropping the first island. But honestly, again, I think these routes look very nice. Again, shout out to the builder who made it. And everything else I'm going to show, I'll pretty much have nothing but praise for it, because these models, these like buildings and whatnot, they have shown to have immense promise. And I am excited to see what future cities and what future areas are going to look like, because whoever's the builder, again, they are putting amazing work into this. And I've had no criticisms for this game so far, because I just think it's very good. Model-wise, these look great. My only concern is how some of them may function in-game, like how Machamp would function in-game. It's been a while since I last touched a Generation 7 game, so maybe I'm just forgetting about something. But obviously, this is Roblox, and this is a Pokemon game. Like, this is basically the devs going in their own vision about it. Because, like, not everything is going to be 100% accurate to the games, and I like that. They're trying to make an accurate experience without, like, while branching out their own ideas, which I can respect. Now, my issue will be is mainly just how Machamp functions. But everyone else, I genuinely think they can make something work. Also, bringing back Mantine Surfing would genuinely be perfect. Not much to say about this one. It's not that it's bad. I just don't really know what input to give, since I already gave a lot of it about Route 4. But I do think for a starting area, this is very good. I like the model of the house. It reminds me exactly of the Gen 7 house, which I think is what they were going for, but that's... Now, I didn't cover Charizard in the Pokemon Mount leak because I hadn't looked at it yet, because as I'm recording this audio for the video, I typically look at the leaks as I'm editing so I can form my opinion. And, like, I also look at the leaks before making them into a video, but I just re-look at them while I'm editing so my opinion's more fresh. And honestly, for what it's worth, for an open world flying thing, I think they did this perfectly. Now, obviously, it probably isn't open world, and it likely functions under the same logistics as the same logic under the Fly HM. Now, if it does, that wouldn't be a big deal, but I would love the idea of similar to the Latios and Latios fly mechanic and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, if you could just fly around to whatever area you want to without it being tied to without it just tying to a simple animation and just flying you to where you need to go. But I think for what it's worth, they did this model the model looks amazing, and the just overall fight mechanics look great too. Now, honestly, similarly to the Route 1 leak, I don't really have much to say on this one. I think the UI for the raids look great, but the main thing I want to see is if they're going to be implementing Dynamaxing. Honestly, if they're going to be implementing Dynamaxing, I am curious to see what the big Pokemon are going to look like in 3D. Probably not that much different from the original 3D models, but I like it if they added little details like the cloud forming and like the smoke selling, like coming from the air. But I think that'd probably be too much, but it's just be a nice little cosmetic thing to see for Dynamaxing. One of the things I love about the routes in this game so far is that it looks like there's a lot of like area you can explore and move around at. Now I hope a lot of these like areas that they're showing aren't blocked off, restricted areas for an invisible wall, and like you can actually interact and explore the route. Because unlike most other routes and most Brick Bronze copies, which are all basically the same, there's almost like really no good areas to explore. And that's one of the things I like to see whenever a Brick Bronze copy, or not, I'm not even going to call this a copy at this point. This is a straight up new revolutionary thing for Brick Bronze. I hope they branch out and like be different and make their own like thing for the routes. It was hard to like find the word I was looking for, but making their own branching and vision, like seeing their own visions for the routes really come to life in these leaks is one of the reasons why I am in full support of this project. This will be my final analysis, since everything else I either don't really need to cover or I've already covered in the past videos, such as the clothing options, following Pokemon. I covered them in the past two videos, which I will show right here. But overall, I genuinely think this game has the most potential I've ever seen out of a Brick Bronze copy. You could tell the genuine passion that devs are pouring into it, and if they ever like branch out and do quality of life stuff that no other copy has done, here's what I would like to see. I would like to see a form of wonder trading implemented, whenever it be for the menu or the RTD or whatever. Just make it where you could trade a random Pokemon over with a random player, and both of you just get random Pokemon from each other. Another thing I'd like to see implemented is a feature where you can go up to random trainers and they offer you a certain Pokemon, and if you have the other Pokemon that they want, you can trade it over to them, similar to what other Pokemon games I've had. Like it probably won't do anything for the game itself in the long run, but I think it would be a unique feature to have, and it would be very interesting to do for challenge videos. I think it would just help overall. But honestly, I'm very excited for this copy, since Alola region's been my favorite region since I was younger, and I am very glad that it is getting its proper representation in this copy, and I am genuinely hoping for its release, because I will be making a lot of videos on the game when it drops.